The summer of 2005 became a season of goodbyes in boxing. First, Kostiuszko fought the final bout of his career. And just a week later, another legend, former undisputed heavyweight champion Mike Tyson, stepped into the ring for the very last time. On June 12, 2005, Tyson faced Irishman Kevin McBride in what would become his farewell fight. Tyson himself would later call the performance a boxing disgrace. By that year, it was clear to everyone. Only Tyson's name and appearance remained. The fighter himself was gone. In his 3 previous bouts, he had lost 2. A one-sided knockout defeat in the 8th round against Lennox Lewis, and a shocking 4th-round KO loss to journeyman Danny Williams. The only win in that stretch came against Clifford H. Yin, but even then Tyson's victory was thanks to a quick, lucky punch in the opening minute. This comeback attempt had all the signs of desperation, a man trying to turn back time. Logic said it wouldn't work, but millions of fans still carried hope in their hearts that Tyson would somehow turn back the clock, that they'd get to see him flatten one more opponent before he walked away for good. On paper, Kevin McBride seemed the perfect choice, a final opponent Tyson could handle. McBride was little known outside of Ireland, despite carrying a solid record of 34-4-1. But he had never beaten a notable name. By all accounts, he shouldn't have even shared the ring with Tyson. But by 2005, Mike was nowhere near the fighter he once was. So this was the level of opponent he had to accept. McBride's one real asset was his size. Standing 198 centimeters tall with a 203 centimeters reach, he towered over Tyson, who was smaller by 20 centimeters in height and 23 centimeters in reach. He also outweighed him, 123 kilograms to Tyson's 105. In the late 1980s, these differences wouldn't have mattered. But in 2005, Iron Mike was no longer iron. Before the fight, Tyson tried to fuel his motivation. One emotional moment came when Muhammad Ali, who had supported Tyson since the 1980s, visited him in the locker room. Ali even kissed Mike's hand. "I am happy just to be with such a person," Tyson said afterward. "I'm glad I could spend time with him while he's still with us." It felt as if the entire world wanted Tyson to win one last time. But when the bell rang, reality quickly set in. From the opening rounds, Tyson's punches lacked their old sharpness and aggression. He pressed forward, but there was little real danger in his attacks. He looked flat, unable to trouble McBride the way fans remembered. McBride, for his part, leaned on his size, clinching often, leaning on Tyson, and throwing short, clubbing punches inside.
moments in the last round. You were holding it in. And there's that hand that he was picking it up. By Mike Tyson. McBride was able to land. McBride is throwing it, but it's not. Mike Tyson, not very effective throughout. And there's McBride say that for him.
There were flashes of Tyson's old body work, moments when he dug to the ribs like the Tyson of old, but they were brief. More often, he looked like an easy target, a faded legend trying to find something that was no longer there. By the middle rounds, the fight had turned rough. McBride used his elbows, leaned on Tyson, and even landed low blows.
McBride with the jab. McBride better be careful. The body work of right hand did not. You know, McBride had better leverage. It's a mess defensively. 271 have full impact. Forearm tactic, you may have noticed. That's a through four. Uneven scorecard, very downstairs. Those punches in. From Tyson, and that is one of the things he's done at. And then here, you know, Tyson last reached the fifth round. A lumbering giant of a heavyweight, those little short out 3 years ago versus Wilson. So going to the high jab, landing into it. He's inviting the left, and he's landing right shots across to the left. That creates a right eye movement. Pride. And back upstairs. Kevin McBride considerably. Sure saw this in punches, kind of Tyson does. And to instill a lot of... Mike Tyson's in trouble in this fight right now. Tyson not throwing 2 lead punches. And another one by McBride. And once he got Tyson on the inside, he landed a rugged round for Mike Tyson. That was a terrific right hand to the ion. Good work by Kevin McBride. And just as important, I think, very good uppercut. A punch that we know you can get in, and he was going to rely 270 pounds on him, holding him against the rope, and making a break. He leaned on Tyson. He sapped his energy by putting on.
The effect was obvious. Tyson's punches slowed, his head movement dulled, and fatigue set in. By the 6th round, frustration got the better of Tyson. He first tried to wrench McBride's arm in a dirty move, and soon after launched a blatant headbutt. The foul opened a serious cut on McBride's face, costing Tyson 2 penalty points. But even with the blood flowing, the Irishman refused to fold.
Delivered with him bending at the knee, and they had some power. For McBride, Tyson.
He kept punching back, showing grit and surprising toughness. As the round wound down, the physical toll became undeniable. Tyson looked exhausted, confused, and completely drained. In a clinch, McBride wrestled him to the canvas. Tyson sat on the floor for a long moment, staring blankly, before rising slowly and stumbling to his corner. When the bell rang for the 7th round, Tyson stayed seated. He refused to continue. The fight was over. The referee waved it off. Kevin the Clone's Colossus McBride had defeated the great Mike Tyson by technical knockout. It was an ending nobody wanted to see. As Tyson left the ring, there was no applause. Instead, a chorus of boos echoed through the arena. Someone even hurled a plastic cup at him. Tyson, in one final act of defiance, gave the crowd the middle finger before disappearing down the tunnel. It was a sad farewell for one of boxing's most iconic figures. Afterward, Tyson was calm, even resigned. "I want to apologize to the fans who paid money for this and wasted their time," he said. "I think it's time for me to finish. I don't see any point in continuing. I don't want to deceive myself or disgrace the sport that I've given so many years of my life." With those words, the career of Iron Mike Tyson officially came to an end. A career that had once burned brighter than any heavyweight of his era, but ended in silence, under the weight of time and the shadow of what could have been.